Hey, good evening, everyone. It's just me right now tonight. We didn't get you last Wednesday, but I wanted to make sure we got on this Wednesday because, well, as you see my tagline, no sweat. We got this. Trade talk. Tonight, it's me, it's you. Woody will be here later. Mike had a breakdown. He's waiting on a tow truck. Dan, I'm not sure what happened to right now. So we will have Woody come down later. So right now, I'm taking your comments. We're going to talk about the trade deadline. We're going to talk about NOLA, and I suppose we can talk about the disaster that happened in LA, a place where the Bears have done terribly over the last couple decades. Not getting more than 9 points in a game. We lived up to it this weekend. And let's just go straight to our first comment. Hey, yeah, good job, polls. So, Sweat, let's talk about it. Second round pick. This is the second year in the row we've given up a second round pick for someone. Last year, of course, Chase Claypool, and well, that trade didn't work out so hot for us. Hoping that Montez Sweat works out better. Watch the presser today with him. Um, I love some of these fan bases. They're already saying, oh, well, he's refusing to sign a contract in Chicago. They asked him a question when he got on the podium. Now, mind you, he'd been in the building in about 10 minutes. Dude hasn't met his teammates yet. Dude hasn't even seen his locker yet. And they asked him about signing an extension, and he said, well, everything, I want to take everything into consideration. My teammates, the organization, the facilities, all of which he hasn't seen yet. So already some people are saying, oh, he's going to refuse to sign, but I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Um, yeah, look at Lions fans, of course, are going to think it's an overpay because it's a second round pick for a guy who was a first rounder who has more sacks the entire Chicago defense does right now this year. Um, so of course you're going to think it's an overpay. They picked up Donovan Peoples Jones, which I thought was a great pickup for them because every time you hear Peoples Jones' name, which is a cool name, it's usually he's doing some great stuff. I never hear People Jones in a negative way, and I've never heard Montez Sweat in a negative way. Of course, they're going to say it's an overpay. It's not a rental. There's a franchise tag we can slap on him. He's going to be here next year. That's why he's a proven commodity. Um, when the second round, now look at with polls, the way polls drafts, he doesn't really miss on first and second rounders. Well, actually, almost any rounder it seems. So it's hard to make the argument. Well, you're getting a proven guy versus a maybe in the draft because of the way he's drafted. But I have no problem with this this pickup. I see the pickup for what it is. Um, it's more for next year. Yeah, this look at what and Mike, you know what? I think Claypool, the only reason he's out of Chicago is because he called the truth. Called the truth. The offensive scheme sucks. The offensive coaching sucks, and we can get into that actually a little bit as we talk about what happened Sunday um, that got us to this trade deadline. Um, but I'll say one more thing about the trade deadline. I think a lot of people were surprised, and I don't know why, because we did it last year, is that we were buyers and not sellers. I don't get why people are shocked. We know that we're building a team over the next 2-3 years. Why would they be shocked that we added a piece? And yeah, he isn't doing anything in Miami. Let's just say yet. Who knows? Maybe Claypool turns it around. But I think a lot of Claypool, maybe some of it is mental, but he wasn't wrong when he said what he said about the coaching. Um, so, last year it seemed like a good trade, but I see what we're doing with Montez. Sweat seems like it's a good trade. We're building blocks here. Um, yeah, Mike. In fact, you know what? Let me see if I've got it. Boom. Should come in there right now. If you want to join me, so I'm not just talking to myself, there we go. There it is. Eric says, yes, some of us Bear fans have forgot that. Um, you know, Us being buyers is not surprising. We're building. Um, I think it's smart. He gets ahead of the curve. Easier to sign him now than to sign him in free agency. So hopefully we can get a deal done before free agency starts, or tag him. Now, how does that affect though our other problem child being Jalen Johnson? Jalen won the trade, and here's Bear Down Mike. Let me see. I'm waiting for him to. There's his camera. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, all right. So I was just getting into what the Sweat situation does, because like you assume it's going to be easier to sign him before free agency than when he's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
However, this now takes the Jalen situation where if he doesn't sign, he can only franchise or he can only tag one.
My guess is that they probably already spoken with Montez about getting an extension done before even the trade happened or during the trade. You don't make that trade unless you plan on signing that guy to an extension quickly.
Yeah, you've got an inkling. And the Facebook user here, if you don't give StreamYard permissions when you hit the link, I'm not going to be able to see who you are, but we actually have a lot that we could sell. So this must be another John Dorn wannabe.
I haven't seen John in forever. None of us have.
No, he's kind of ghosted because the Packers suck. I mean, they're terrible, so Dorn is ghosted. But Facebook user there, the Bears actually have a lot of pieces that a lot of teams would have been interested in. Trust me, we have pieces at the running back. We have pieces at the defensive in the defensive backfield. We got linebackers. We have people they would be interested in. So
Atlanta was out for him.
Yeah, and I think, and I heard that basically the price on JJ was too high. What his asking price is for an extension scared a lot of teams off, and that should tell you, Mike. Speaking to what you were just talking about, Pace already has an inkling of what Montez wants, and if the price was too astronomical, he wouldn't have pulled the trigger. Because I saw JJ being linked to San Francisco, Atlanta, and Philly, and then I
heard the Cowboys too.
And the Cowboys, yeah. And then we saw the report that said, "Hey, JJ's asking price is scared
Ridiculous.
Everyone off."
Yeah, I think he wants to reset the market.
Yeah, we know. Did you see the press conference with him today?
Yes, I did. He called himself
like, "Well, I don't want to reset it."
Corner.
Well, I like how he said, "I don't want to reset it, but if it's $30 million, well, that resets it."
That resets it. I think Jair is he's $21 million a year. Yeah. You ain't Jair.
No.
You're barely Xavier Howard.
If he meant $30 million over 3 years, well,
that's cheap. That is cheap. $10 million a year, we'll pay for it. I think he's worth anywhere from 15 to 18.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see like 3 years, 40.
Yeah.
40, 45, And I think Sweat's going to cost a pretty penny.
Well, people have problems with this. Like, why don't you guys just save your pick and sign him in offseason? That means we have to compete with other teams to sign him. At this point, we get him. We can either franchise tag, which no player wants to play on the franchise tag, or we just sign him now.
You know what the
franchise have to deal with the headache in offseason.
You know what the franchise tag is for Sweat this year? If we tag him,
what, in the 40s?
20.
What is it? What is it?
Just over 20 million is a franchise tag for a defensive end based off last year.
Yeah, he's worth it. He's consistent. That's why I'm glad we didn't go with Chase Young. I would have been happy with Chase Young, but his best ability is not availability. He's good with there.
I think a lot of Bears fans are kind of felt that it should have been Chase Young because he's a more recognizable name. Like Bears, like more people know his name than Montez Sweat, and I get it. He got there a year earlier. I get it. I think if we sign him, we got about 100 to about 110. We're gonna have the most cap space in the league. So you figure if Sweat, JJ, you can lock them up. If we're keeping Fields, I'd rather sign him to extension now while he's cheaper. You could definitely sign the three of them. You could even throw Mooney in extension.
I'd give Mooney like a 2-year extension.
Yeah, and then the draft, which have you been laughing at all these posts on Facebook with these mock drafts? I have.
They're sick of it. I don't even want a quarterback. in this draft.
Yeah.
I'd rather build a defensive line and offensive line and just move back in the draft and collect.
These same people who are giving like the Bears a C, a D, and an F for this trade yesterday are all saying we're drafting Caleb. That's like, dudes.
I mean, I think we'll win a couple more games that our draft is. We're going to go higher in the draft. Yeah. I don't see us having the number 1 pick again.
I mean, if Carolina doesn't win another game, we could. I mean, the only reason they dropped to number 2 pick is because they had a bye week, and it's one less game they've lost.
Yeah, Arizona's got the number 1 right now.
Yeah, so if we end up with the number 1, I want to see us take Marvin Harrison Jr. I think if you put DJ Moore with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darnell Mooney, that's a 6th starting 3, if you will. And then you sign St. Brown, EQ, sign him to another 1-year deal. He'll take it. Scott.
You still got Tyler Scott?
Yep. Jones, you can just wave bye-bye to. Yeah, I mean, see
anybody else, literally anybody else in the end zone but him would have caught that.
I mean, I get why the Bears keep him, but you see that play and you're like, why? Why do we have this guy? But then you see when he does kick returns.
That's why you keep him.
That's why we keep him.
We can literally get anybody else to do that. Just a fast guy. Hell, we can go get Cordell Patterson to do that all day.
Yeah, well, we had him and we let him go. But, yeah, I mean.
But you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, look, they could go with Dante again if when Herbert comes back, and Dante's no longer a primary, make him the return guy. I mean.
Or you know who else was good and we let him go in this offseason? Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
He caught balls. He caught deep balls from Justin.
Yeah.
He's better than Velus.
Well, or let Scott do it.
Or Scott, yeah. I don't know, because he's kind of small, so he might get murdered back there.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason we keep Jones is punts and kicks. I mean, it's like, you fall on your ass. And then he had it. He had it. You just couldn't hold it. I mean.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that it was all wobbly. It hit you in the chest. You got to catch it.
I'm sure what happened is this. As he fell down, his brain went off the ball because his brain probably said, oh, fuck, I just fell down on national TV. And everyone just saw me fall on my ass with the ball. And now, and so I doubt his whole concentration was just probably because he knew he just made a fool of himself.
Yeah. Yeah. We everybody saw him slip and fall. Then he drops the ball. Like, that's totally embarrassing. Penalties cost us that game.
Well, let's talk about the game Sunday. I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, let's talk about the game.
I think this just showed why Getsy needs to be fired again. Yes. The scheme sucks. The play calling is atrocious. How is it you only target DJ Moore 6 times?
1 time in the second half, the entire time.
Yeah, you use Tunyon. Nice to see. You use Komet a little bit. Okay. I was waiting for Mercedes Lewis. We didn't get to see that though.
Hell, maybe Patrick Scales be out there catching balls too.
It's just, and you know what? But also the game proved that it's not Justin Fields, because let's go back to the Raiders game. And everyone said, "Oh my God, Badgett. This is what Fields." And it's so much so that even Collinsworth, I bet the Bears are going to Justin. You see what Badgett's doing here? You know that whole comment. It didn't. Badgett didn't do anything.
No.
It's like Fields has done nothing in this offense. It's not the quarterbacks on this team. It's the offense.
Yeah. Where was all the bootlegs? There was hardly any. Dante Foreman ran it, 16 times against the Raiders? He had 6 or 9 touches?
Yeah, Eric just asked that. How do you sit Foreman after what he did the week before?
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of, and to answer Eric, is maybe there was an injury that didn't show up in the injury report. And that
you still got Darrington Evans.
You know, I don't know. Maybe there was something that injury wise that we just didn't know about, and they didn't. You know, it could be, but yeah, the running game was kind of for shit. No, it wasn't. Kind of was. The passing game, I think this proved that Getsy can't call an offense. And I hate to say fire Getsy. I hate to say fire a guy who, this is his livelihood. But and the guy has a resume. Getsy has a very nice resume. But this isn't Aaron Rodgers. And we're not, and this is not a Green Bay offense.
Yeah, this is not Aaron Rodgers. To be fair, he didn't do anything for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was already elite when he got there. So that's probably Aaron Rodgers showing him some stuff, really. But as far as the second play of the game tells you right there. You go for a bomb, great. We know Bagent has an arm now, great.
Yeah.
But then you go to a wide receiver run with Trent Taylor. What are you doing?
What's with 4th and 1 from the shotgun? What's with 4th and 1 with the running back not getting handoff, but tossing the ball back like I'm going to run for 3 yards. By the time you get to the line's already you're pushed in the backfield already.
What happened to that brotherly shove? Why don't we just try that again?
I think though, like Getsy's resume was good. Yet he did well with Aaron. Like you said, I think it was Aaron. Like you said, Aaron probably showed him. And not to switch a topic to the Packers, but I think LaFleur is getting exposed in the same way as Getsy's now getting exposed in Chicago because Aaron Rodgers audibles the shit out of everything up there. And they're not going to bench Aaron. They're not going to say anything in the press about it because he's Aaron. And I think Fields alluded to it earlier in the year about, the robotic and then the apology. And then say what you will about Claypool, then Claypool said it and is immediately traded. But you've heard me say it before, Mike. I mean, Claypool is right.
And DJ Moore said it to the Buccaneers, and everybody caught it.
DJ Moore said it again this week.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way that he was upset that he's not getting targeted. The dude is let me see if I can find it from last week. We didn't do any new stuff for today because it's been kind of crazy around here, but I have it. There we go. This was before this week.
Yeah.
5th in the NFL.
Yep, still up there. I think he's still
there. This is before this last week. So this is coming into this week. Now he might not be. But 5th, almost 4th, and you don't throw to him. And it's like, well, but Bagent doesn't hold the field. He gets very quick, and Fields holds it. Great. I'm not mad at that. I mean, Fields getting 6 seconds says the offensive line is doing their job. And then it's also saying that the scheme sucks because it's not getting wide receivers open looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's too easy to defend.
There should be a lot of times where DJ Moore is your first read. I know when Bagent was doing his interview today for the press, something about it was Tyler Scott. He was on the Adam Rank Sick podcast. Apparently, the safety was blanketing over DJ Moore to where he wasn't as open as he should be.
Well,
you got to get open then.
Well, that's just it, though. The scheme does that, too, because the scheme, they're all too easy to cover. And unless you beat them with speed, even if they run great routes, DJ Moore might be running the route as drawn perfectly. The problem is it's a route that's really easy to cover.
Yeah.
And gets these routes. Fields is holding the ball so long. He's like, where's the opening? Like, I mean, look, conversely, could he Jay Cutler it and say, look, he's supposed to be at the hash at the 35, so I need to release the ball now, and the ball will be there whether he is or not. Hey, it's a timing route. Could he do that? I think he could, but then we'd all be bitching about interceptions.
Yeah.
And it still wouldn't be Fields' fault. So this is why I don't think we dropped the quarterback too, because you look at this game against the Chargers, how bad the play calling was, how bad the scheme is, how Bagent, who everyone was so in love with, struggled just as well, just as mightily as Justin Fields has. And you look at 2 games where each of those guys has had a phenomenal game, one being the Raiders game for Bagent, the other being the Washington game for Fields, and you saw the flashes of what these guys can be like when the scheme is matched appropriately to a defense.
appropriately to their skill set as well.
Yeah, against that. I mean, the problem is the scheme worked against Washington, it worked against Vegas, but it hasn't worked against anyone else.
Well, it worked against Denver. It's just our coach is too stubborn. When you're a 1-5 team against another bad team, and you have a chance to take the points for the lead, shut them down.
Yeah, but in the second half, they didn't make the adjustments, which he did correct, but he didn't make adjustments. Getsy did not make second half adjustments. He did, however, make them against Washington late in the third quarter. He started to make adjustments. And at Denver game, though, they didn't make any adjustments. They didn't score at all, almost.
But you had the opportunity to take over the game. Go ahead.
I mean, if they take the field goal there instead of the 4th and 1, we probably win that game.
Yeah. So, and you trust your defense, who's your defensive head coach, his job to stop him. That would have been a different narrative for Justin. Like, he led you down. You gave the game-winning field goal. That's a solid win. We could be sitting at 3-4 right now, or 3-5.
He put you in a position to win, and then on that Denver game, he put you in a position to win, and then you 4th and 1 from the shotgun.
Yeah, who the hell does that?
And then it's not even Justin running the ball, right? He handed it off. It's like maybe bootleg him, something, roll him, don't go. So
run it on. Justin's fast. Run him out to the outside.
Yeah.
He can gain 1 yard.
And the defense this week, complete letdown. I don't know what happened. They had a bad week. It happens.
Having Jaquan Brisker out and Eddie Jackson's out. That it tells you how bad those guys are pivotal to this team.
Well, there was a lot of missed tackles this week, some missed assignments this week. They just had a bad week.
That TJ Edwards miss on that screen. God, it's just upsetting. It's like there's another missed tackle.
And that brings us, I guess, back to Tuesday with the trade. So does this make Ngakoue? I think it makes Ngakoue better.
Yep.
It makes JJ better, and even JJ kind of alluded to that in this press conference because he's like, "Hey, now maybe because the Bears, to me, we said it Sunday. You were watching Sunday. I know you were on Sunday. We were saying they're like a half step away.
Yeah,
like they've been getting there, the hands reaching, but it's not touching them until after the ball's gone. Now with this trade, do we now maybe get some pressure that's going to create turnovers and flow of offenses?
Yeah, this will help, and this is to help our rookies. This will help Pickens and Dexter, craft their game.
Dexter's been balling. Let me, I don't know if you remember this from the other night. Yep, there we go. This was prior to the game on Sunday.
Yeah, he's good.
That's what I'm saying.
You have Yannick and Montez Sweat to also help him with this game. I don't trust Dominique Robinson. I expect him to be cut, really.
Yeah.
He's not doing it. He's been a healthy scratch the last 2 games. Who else is the other one? Rasheed Green. He's not doing anything.
No.
DeMarcus Walker, you can actually put him on the line now and not as an edge. And he's a 3-tech.
Yeah, it's definitely this definitely lets us move some stuff around. Defensively, and I think we got some guys coming back from injury. Hopefully, this defense is what I think keeps Eberflus a job right now, because I think we can honestly say that the defense has improved greatly from week 1 to today, and you have to give him the credit for that. And we can probably say the O-line, the offense, the O-line has been great. I have no complaint about.
I have some.
They're giving them 6 seconds, 6 to 7 seconds. There have been a couple, I get it, where the guy's free and clear, but that's a Getsy problem. That's not an O-line problem.
Yeah, I remember vaguely Cody Whitehair getting blasted by Joey Bosa for the sack.
That's Joey Bosa. It's gonna happen with Joey.
But with those kind of guys, with Khalil there, that's the double team that we need going on.
Yeah, because they had Bosa and Mack on line next to each other, and Cody Whitehair just got destroyed. I'm like, if you're Cody, you're like,
yeah. But it's just the double team on those long developing plays.
Yeah.
right? That's what we need. If it's just a quick throw, fine. One-on-one's fine. He's getting the ball out quick. But those long developing plays, hey, where's that guy that is going to kick our ass if we let him get too long?
But I mean, I know we know they can protect for 5-6 seconds. We've seen them do it a ton.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the misgivings in our line is more scheme, play call.
Yeah.
Once again, they don't do the right shit. Getsy doesn't have them shift right for certain types of plays, or he has a passing play that's going to take time to develop, but we're going to leave the left tackle or the left edge completely unguarded, right, and by design, and then wonder why Fields or Bagent gets destroyed.
Yeah, what was that? Well, one play where that first play against was a Minnesota that Fields got destroyed. Oh, he was supposed to drift right, run right, and he didn't do his job.
Yeah.
I also heard a rumor that because Eberflus has been lying to the media about Justin Fields. 1 week he'll be day to day or week to week he's getting better, he's progressing, and then he's out automatically come Monday. And the rumor is that they're favoring Bagent over Fields right now.
So I wouldn't be mad.
I'm not surprised.
I would, because I think you want to see what you got in Bagent as far as being a long-term backup solution. I think they're all in on Fields. I don't think Fields is going anywhere.
I don't think so either.
Their Fields is their guy. Poles likes him. We know he's super dynamic. We know he's got all the skills you want. He's got an arm. He's got speed. We know he can lace the ball 40 yards down on a rope, 40 yards downfield.
Yeah.
We know he can do what we need him to do. I think they want to make sure Bagent's the guy who's going to be hey, is this a kid that we can throw in for 2 or 3 weeks and be comfortable with in a stretch run?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'll be at the game. So that's why we get to see him this Sunday in NOLA. And then I think we're going back to Fields. I think it's a 3-game run in total. And then we're going back to Fields.
He's got to be ready for the Carolina game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that right before the bye, right?
Yeah, week 10, then we have to bye. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got to be ready by Carolina. I think we can go into New Orleans and beat the Saints. I don't think they're all that. They got a good defense in Lattimore and Cameron Jordan. Other than that, I'm not really scared of anybody there.
They've got some defensive pieces. They got some offensive pieces. It's the NFC South, which is a terrible division. Yeah. But they're still competitive. So where we're at right now, with this offensive coordination we got going on, I think this will be a competitive game. I think it's gonna be awesome to see Sweat. I get to be at this first game, so I think I'm up. I think my wife bought the ticket, so I'm probably in the nosebleeds.
Whenever his jersey comes out, I'm gonna go buy it.
Yeah,
because I know he's gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't see us not re-signing him. I see, and he even said his plan is to play this weekend. Yep. I love his answer. Defense is defense.
Yeah. There's not much to play. Hey, go get that guy. Okay, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, go get the quarterback. And he's a great run defender too.
Yes, he's much better than what we. And in Ngakoue, the story on him was, remember when we got him? Oh, he's not that good on run defense, but he's actually been pretty good.
Our run defense has been really solid.
We went from worst to like 5th in the league.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs didn't do anything. Nope. Austin Eckler didn't run us. Sure, the passing yards were there, but not the running yards.
Yeah, not the running yards. So we got some work to do. Of course, the pregame will be on this week. I'm going to be in NOLA. Mike is going to go to the Packers game with Bill. I think Dan is going to do pregame, and then we'll stream as normal. And tonight just got screwy because I think we're about Woody should be on any minute. He said he'd come and join us. Mike had a breakdown. He's waiting on a truck, and I'm not sure what happened to Dan. And we missed last Wednesday, so I want to make sure.
I was on Wednesday, then I was on Thursday waiting. I was like, oh, I guess these guys are not coming.
Yeah, Thursday. I don't know what that was the original word I got. I don't know what the disconnect was. So I want to make sure we were on today because the trade yesterday.
Yeah.
Big news that we brought in the edge rusher. Now here's a question though: do you think though do we re-sign Yannick? And
I still think it's too early. I would say by the end of the season, let's see what he done sack wise or production wise. I think with Montez being here now, it's going to get better. Because you know what else we could do? We let Yannick go. Guess what? 49ers may not sign Chase Young. He just might be a rental. So he could be available. Or maybe somebody else. Maybe we get somebody in the draft. Who knows?
Yeah, my plan was now, remember when we talked about the Sunday morning, Woody had this pipe dream of getting both yesterday. He was like, give Washington a first round pick and give us both guys.
No.
Yeah, well, we got 2 first, but I'm like, I was happy either way. I'm happy we got Sweat. I think we draft, if we can get Marvin Harrison Jr., we get him, and then we get defensive edge. A lot of these mock drafters have us taking another offensive tackle. Why? We're good at left and right tackle. I think we're good at left and right guard. I think
we need a center.
We're good at center, though, with Patrick, as long as he stays healthy.
I'd like to see Doug Kramer get his shot. He's a center.
And hey, Woody, welcome.
Woody.
We were just talking about the Sweat trade.
Hold on, people.
Woody joined us remotely this week.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Someone has to be responsible, all of us, and have a job.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, brother. What'd you think of the trade?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear us? Can you hear us now, Woody?
Let me banner here. I got this. Check this out. Let's see if this works.
You guys hear me or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
Fucking what do you think of the trade?
What's that?
What do you think of the trade?
Thought it was good. It's a well-needed, edge rusher or interior lineman, only second-round pick. So we can, like I said, we're probably going to trade our pick, but probably still get Marvin Harrison Jr. So
that's another thing I didn't think of. Trade our first, go back, collect another second.
Yeah, I think it depends on how. If we're sitting like we are now at 2-3, right? We're at 3-4, right? No, we're at 2-3. If we're at 2-3, I think we maybe use 2 on Marvin Harrison and trade 3, and go back and pick up a second rounder. Yeah, I mean, if we're at 1-2, if God forbid that happens, or we're at 1-3, if we're at 1-3, I think we trade away the 1 like we did last year for another big haul. Yeah. I mean, there's a million one scenarios. Or we go, look, we can be like Houston last year. Go 2-3 back to back.
Yep. Well, I was kind of pissed off because they said, Jalen Jones, hold on, I'm driving. He didn't want to. Jalen Johnson, he didn't want to play with us, that he's going to test out free agency. I'm thinking we should have traded him before, so we at least got something for him.
Well, actually, Woody, the way it worked out Monday, they were trying to work out an extension. Poles did not give Johnson's people the number Johnson wanted, so he then demanded a trade. So the Bears said, okay, you can go out and if you can find the trade, we'll allow it. He went out. Then the report came out yesterday from 3 different sources that Johnson's asking price for extension was so deep he scared everyone off.
Yep.
So then,
they said his offers were too low.
Like he wanted too much money, and people are like, well, if we're not gonna be able to re-sign you, we're not gonna give up a second round pick for you, or whatever the Bears were asking. So
I think Poles said high first, low second.
Yeah,
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, so in the press conference, he was happy today to be in Chicago. He said, he doesn't. He said it's not going to change how he plays. He was happy that we made the trade, that we got someone in who's going to help defense, and in turn help him, get more money probably. But I think Poles said, fine, go get a trade, because he wanted him to see that he's not going to get what he thinks he's going to get.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, if a player comes up to me and says, I demand a trade, then I'm not going to accept an offer or whatever, and I'm not going to talk negotiations the rest of the season and test out free agency. Your ass have been gone. Plain and simple. I don't play around with that. Now we're taking a chance that he's not going to give balls out the rest of the year, or he needs to get balls out so another team would sign him. But
yeah, he said he was going to.
Player comes up to me. If a player seeks a trade and he says, "Hey, I don't want to play. I want to trade. I'm not going to talk negotiations the rest of the year and test out free agency," your ass would have been gone before Tuesday. Plain and simple.
Well, he didn't say that he wasn't open to still negotiating. In the press conference today, it doesn't sound like we have to worry about him not playing hard. I think he demanded trade was purely financial. And he said, look, he said in his press conference, and Mike, you heard, so correct me if I'm wrong. He basically said, I get where Poles is at and his process in doing for the good of the team financially and product. And then I got to do what's right for me and my team, meaning my family, me as a person. And those two weren't going together. So I asked for the trade to see if they could find me a home where someone could get me the money that I want. And that didn't happen. So it's not going to change how I play. I'm happy to still be here. I'm going to ball out, because at the end of the day, I still have to play for me.
And but do you understand what I'm saying, though, if I was Ryan Poles?
Oh, yeah, we get it.
Definitely.
Yeah, he said
at least get something for him.
He said something about stacking his resume, and then at the end of the season, come back to the contract extension.
Yeah.
Well, the report that I heard yesterday and today is that he's going to stop negotiations the rest of the year, the rest of the season, and he's going to test out free agency. That's all I heard.
That's bullshit.
Get franchise tag.
It's his agent's still going to be talking to Poles, and the only thing that's going to be happening there, I'm sure that this is what it's like with these players when they say that kind of shit. Hey, Mike, you're my agent. I'm going to tell the media I'm not talking to you under the season. However, if he meets anywhere in the parameters that we already set, then let me know and we'll sign. That's what that's what that means, right?
We'll see.
That's what that really means when they say that shit. Their agent's still talking with the Bears. He just isn't hearing anything unless the number he wants gets hit, or somewhere in the ballpark where his agent says, okay, he might go for that. But they're still talking.
If you're Jalen's agent, you're like, hey, they're going to franchise tag you. They're going to keep you here as long as they got.
Well, then we have a chance. Then we have a chance for him holding out, being another Roquan, and that franchise tag, it's iffy.
If Sweat doesn't sign, we're going to franchise him.
I think Sweat will sign.
Oof.
Yeah, so do
I think he'll sign.
I just think it's funny that a Lions fan that I respect a lot, actually, he posted this thing. So this is damning, and they were talking about the quote from the press conference when they asked him about signing, and he said, "Well, I take everything into consideration: the team, the facilities, the coaching." And so he said, basically, in a nutshell, he wasn't going to talk about extension yet. And so some people are saying, "Oh my God, see, this is damning. He's not going to sign with the Bears." The dude hadn't even been to his locker yet, hasn't met a single one of his teammates or the coaches yet when he makes this comment. I didn't see anything damning about his comment. The dude literally walks in the building 10 minutes later, hey, meet the press.
Yeah.
First question from the press, Woody. Are you going to sign an extension?
Nope.
I
want to trade.
Yet.
He's like, I haven't even seen my. They asked him what jersey are you wearing? He's like, I don't even know that yet. I mean, the dude
98.
He didn't know his jersey number. He hasn't been to a locker. Hasn't met a teammate. Hasn't even talked to a coach. He probably talked to Flus on the phone yesterday.
Doesn't have a hotel room yet.
Yeah, he didn't have a place to stay for the night, and they're already asking these questions like he's been there for 3 weeks.
Well, like I said, hopefully they extend him because then this trade will be useless. But I have a feeling they're going to trade him an extension either tomorrow or Friday. Right away.
Yeah, Poles is working on it. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think we'll see an extension within a week or two. And I wouldn't be surprised if JJ doesn't extend it. And maybe one of those things where week 17 ends and then 3 days later we hear an extension type of thing. They may come to an agreement during the season, but, to keep the we're not going to talk phase, they'll got to say face, wait till after the last game and then say, yeah, we met after the last game. You know how that crap goes. I would like to see JJ back. I don't think there's any of our bigger free agents that we need that we're going to.
Well, listen, it's like when Roquan was holding out. I said, get rid of the fucking idiot. I hate people that hold out. Yeah, you're a great linebacker, all this shit, blah, blah, blah. But he wasn't worth that money that, Baltimore gave him. But he's up there in the linebacker rankings and stuff like that. Good for him. But you holding out, you're a cheap fuck, man. I can't handle people like that, especially athletes. Well,
this was prior to this week. Prior to Sunday's debacle, he was second in the league on lowest passer rating allowed. Got to give the guy some credit. And I think the telling sign, though, was that he's overvaluing himself when he said today, I don't know if that number is 30 million. I'm like, dude, you're making more than, that's more than the linebacker. I mean, yeah, that's Darrelle Revis setting a new standard money. I mean, you're good. You're not Revis Island good yet.
Yeah.
Well, I know he had his good numbers and stuff like that, but you got to think on the other hand is he did get burned a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we're paying you for your takeaways. You have 3 in 4 years. 2 of them came from backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, I get you. Like, you're a great corner. You're not elite, but you're great. Your pass breakups are good, but we pay for turnovers. Takeaways, not you
Eddie
getting beat all the
Jackson.
time.
And here's the thing, too. Eddie Jackson's got 1 more year left on his contract after this. So you got to see that this draft, we're looking for cornerbacks. We're looking for
corners and safeties.
Yeah. I think I think for me, round 1 goes Marvin. If you're using both picks, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. and the best defensive end available. And then after that, in rounds, if you don't have a second rounder, then in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you're drafting corners, safety, and line, both sides of the line.
Well, the lot of the groups today were arguing. I was fucking arguing with this guy too about why we should have got Chase Young, Sweat with second round. Look what happened with Claypool. How the hell can you compare Claypool with one of the best, am I right that Sweat has 6.5 sacks this year so far?
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Come on.
He's got 6.5.
6. Yeah. So that you can't compare. I was like, these Bears, some of these Bears Homer fans, they need to fucking wake up. Swear to God, they're just pissing me off.
This is what I was telling Kim. What did you get with Claypool? Character issues. We don't have that with Montez Sweat.
But to be fair with Claypool, though, to Ryan Poles, the character issues weren't an issue before the trade. And when he came here, it was like, reuniting with Cole Kmet. It seemed like it was going to be okay. So on paper, Poles was making a good trade, right? When we look at that trade last year, at the time, this character thing no one knew about. And they figured the drop-off was because you went from Big Ben to a rookie quarterback, right? Because he made some phenomenal plays with Big Ben.
Yeah.
And his skill was undeniably there. This work ethic, everything else, didn't have materialize until really this year. Because last year when he got here, he was injured. It's end of the season, so you got a lot to do with learning the playbook. Okay, fine. But you're right. It's also apples and oranges, though, Woody. I mean, you can't compare the two. And then look, we got a lot of stupid fans, okay? Because then other ones are going, well, why don't we get both of them? Because look, there's some validity to this. Our third round pick is better than San Francisco's. So why did we give them our third round pick and get Chase Young too and get them both? I hate to say this to these guys, but then you have to pay both of them at the end of the year, and pay JJ and pay Mooney and possibly extend Justin Fields. Sure, you got $110 million, but you got some needs.
We got some needs, yeah.
So, are you going to really?
And you can't fix all your problems through the draft either. So
no, but I mean, okay. Well, let's war game this out real quick. So let's say you get both. Okay. To sign them both is probably $25 million a year each. That sound about right?
I pay Sweat over Chase Young.
Yeah, because of his being healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're looking probably between the two. That's $50 million in a year.
Yeah, there's half your salary cap.
Okay. Then Fields is going to suck up 35 to 40.
Let's say 80 million.
So now you're at 80 to 90 million.
You got 30 million left.
Let's say you're at the 90 million mark, which let's go say he's getting 40. Okay, let's just say that. So now you've got 20 million.
You got Darnell.
Got JJ. You got Mooney, who's probably going to be cheap. You've got St. Brown. That's going to be $1 million. You've got your long snapper. That's $1 million. Who else do you got that's going to be a free agent you need to pay?
D'Onta Foreman. Sanborn. I don't know how long his contract is. I think that's a year deal.
Is he a year deal too, or is he a 2 or 3? So I mean, you can't.
Isn't he in year 3?
No, this is year 2 for Sanborn, but he was an undrafted free agent rookie. So, we lost Woody. He'll probably be back, but he was a UFDA. So, there he is. So you got to figure. I don't know if Sanborn is a multi-year deal. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. What Sanborn's?
He might have signed a 2-year deal when he got picked by the Bears, or signed by them. Because last year he showed a lot that he can handle being an off-ball linebacker. He's fast, powerful. I kind of like him more than Tremaine Edmonds, honestly.
So he signed in May of 22. So this is year 2 of it. He signed a 3-year, $2.5 million contract. So we got one more year, and then we're gonna have to pay him. And he's not going to sign a 3-year, $2.5 million contract on his next one. He's going to expect probably an $8 to $9 million contract for the same. I mean, I think he would do 3 years at $10 million. I think, and that'd be probably cheap, but he would probably be happy he would probably take it.
Yeah. And listen to this. I don't know if you guys heard. Pat O'Donnell was released today. We need a punter because Gill sucks. He's last in the league in net yardage.
Well, if you were the GM, Woody.
I
mean,
I got a question to ask. Was anybody surprised Raiders didn't sell?
Yes.
I thought Max Crosby, because he's a Detroit boy. Imagine him and Aiden on one side of the line. I thought they're going to try to get Max Crosby before the deadline because Brad Holmes, he likes to make those surprise deals, and all they got is Peoples-Jones from the Browns. So,
and I said earlier, Woody, you missed it. I like that pickup for them, Peoples-Jones. I don't know about you, but every time I hear his name, it's been associated with them making a big-time catch or play, right? I never heard Peoples-Jones fumbling, dropping, or something. So going back to Detroit, great pickup for the Raiders. I am surprised insofar as much as they do nothing at the trade deadline, and then first thing this morning, they have fired their head coach and GM. So to me, that says that the ownership also expected them to do stuff at the deadline, and they decide not to. And when they knew they could have gotten the farm for Devontae probably yesterday, and the response to trading him was oh, hell no, forget about it, you're on crack type of response to people. I think ownership was like, no, you should have done something. So you know what? You're gone. And look at this, the second team Daniels has ruined. He ruined the Broncos when he went there. Mm-hmm. That's how we got Jay Cutler. Think about this. The guy went to Denver when Denver was a playoff contending team with Jay Cutler. He gets there. Immediately, Jay Cutler's gone. They're not a playoff contending team. He gets fired a year and a half later. Okay, fast forward. He comes to the Raiders, who are a playoff contending team at the time. Ruins them, gets rid of Carr, and now they're a dumpster fire.
Yeah, right after trading for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Who wanted to play with Derek Carr, and they knew that. And then they dumped Carr, who was looking better than Garoppolo.
Oh yeah.
That's Derek Carr is Ken's boy, so.
I liked Carr, but you know what though? Carr was good as a Raider, and he looked the part too. Dude, I mean, let's be honest. He looks like a Raider with those sunken eyes. It's like he's Lyle Alzado as a quarterback, right? I mean, you're just like, okay, Carr was a good Raider, and I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do anything at the deadline. I'm not surprised they fired their GM and head coach today.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Yeah, you know what? I'm hoping old hand Antonio Pierce does good coaching for the Raiders. Always liked him as a player.
I was hoping the Bears would throw a number one for Crosby, him and Montez Sweat.
Yeah, imagine that.
Could you imagine? Well, not just that, but and Yannick, all three of them.
And Yannick, oh my God.
And I mean, actually, if you think about it, let's be real. If you had, and then on top of that, you've got Dexter as well, who's doing well. Yeah. So really, we have a fearsome four right there, and the linebacking core is good. I mean, our defense would be stellar at that point, but.
Yeah,
but
and
once again,
and Ken, remember, like 49ers just may have Chase Young for a rental. So we could probably sign him in the offseason. Get your pipe dream.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, so let's go this way. Let's say you're Chase Young, you go to you're San Francisco now. San Francisco, great defense, obviously a favorite now to win the NFC. Not that they weren't already. But after the 3-game slide, maybe they weren't. Let's say they win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, can they keep Chase Young next year? And if you're Chase Young, where do you want to go as a free agent then? Would you want to, if you can't stay in San Fran and you're not going to go back to Washington, why wouldn't you maybe call up your boy in Chicago that you've played with for the last 4 years? You're like, so what's up, man? You know, you think you can get me in?
Yeah, it depends if Justin's still there.
I mean, do either of you guys think we're getting rid of Justin Fields?
I don't. Like I said, he really has to come off injury and take a shit the second half of the season.
Yeah,
but right now, definitely not. Nope.
It's still too early to say. He's still the starter. Flus said that he was a starter, so he's got to show improvement. And it's just holding the ball too long.
So here's the other question then. Who goes first? Getsy or Flus? Or do they leave together?
They leave together.
Yeah, they leave together. Yep.
Flus hired Getsy.
I don't know, because like I said, Eberflus is calling defense, and except for last week because we made Justin Herbert look like a fucking all-pro. Our rush defense was down. Our defense is pretty good. So if I have to choose right now, I think Getsky will be gone because his play calling hasn't got better this year.
No, I think the offensive scheme. I think I agree with you, Woody. I think Getsy goes, and because Flus can say, look, the defense has gotten better. The offensive tools are there, but obviously the OC needed to go because his scheme and play calling were atrocious, and I need something else so he can scapegoat to save his job that way. If the defense was still terrible, I think I'd agree with you, Mike, and say, well, because then if you're polls, you can say, well, dude, your defense still sucks. Your offense sucks. So just getting rid of him is not going to fix it. You could have hired a new DC. You decide not to, and then I could fire you. But with the DC, with the defense improving as tremendously as it's improved since last year, I think Getsy is just an easy fire, and now he buys himself another year. And if he doesn't do anything next year, if we don't win, if we're not a playoff contender next year, I think then he gets the hook. And I also think Fields gets the hook at that point too, maybe.
Yeah, because we can't fuck this up these next 2 years with drafting and with the money we have. We cannot. Next year is going to be our year. If we're not in the playoffs next year, there's going to be an issue. Because we all knew it was going to be a 2-year process with this shit.
Yeah.
Not this year, but this year I thought we'd at least doubled our wins. I thought it would be at 7.
And we still could. We still could win 5 games or so. We still could, theoretically. I think the offensive play calling needs to get better, though, to do that. We know the defense is better and going to be better, but the offensive play calling is what needs to get better for us to win some games.
Well, we sure wasn't good against the Chargers on defense. It was terrible.
No. Well, it was our Jesus Christ. How many passes did Herbert hit in a row? Like 15, 16?
16 straight.
I mean, wow. We couldn't stop Eckler. I mean, that first pass to Mooney and he caught that 41-yard bomb, I was like, wow, this is going to be a good game. Didn't score. Unbelievable.
That should have
unbelievable.
A touchdown. The ref screwed that up. Right.
And you know what? That's the second time we've let a starting quarterback throw for that many straight. Who was the first one? Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that gets fixed now by adding Sweat. I think that because let's be honest, there were a couple times where Yannick was like fingertip, right? Just he was almost there. I think we start to get there, and I think that should be the last time we see that this season.
I hope so. I think we need a blitz more. He needs a blitz more.
Well, I think now with the better talent, he will. I think
Flores just
and does anybody else agree with me? We got Velus Jones. Why is he still on the team? Why? Because of special teams?
Yeah, that's.
How the hell can you lose your fucking footing in a dome? Let me know, please.
Yeah, we talked about this before you got on because we were both like, I think this is what happened. As soon as he fell down, it just broke his concentration because you realized he just made himself look like a dumbass.
And he still should have caught it.
Yeah.
But then I go.
He still should have caught it when he was on the ground.
But then he does a kick return or punt return, and he has a pretty decent return average. And it's like, okay, now I see why they keep him. No. But you're right. He
keep him on special teams. Jesus Christ.
He should not be in the wide receiver position.
He should be gone.
My God.
And me and Ken were talking about the second play of the game. Why the hell are we doing a wide receiver run with Trent Taylor? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that?
They're still thinking we got Tariq Cohen. We can do these fucking plays like they're doing. My God.
In Carolina?
If you're going to do that with anyone, don't you do that with DJ Moore?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 6 targets.
Tyler Scott, Darnell Mooney, and literally anybody else but that tall Trent Taylor or that small Trent Taylor.
The thing I like over Tyson over Fields is that it seems like he spreads the ball out more. Like you're seeing Tyler Scott catching the ball. You're seeing Robert Tonyan getting passes.
Yep.
It seems like Field, it's DJ Moore, Kmet. He's got to spread that ball out more. Tyson does that a lot better than Fields.
I think Getsy's made it a simpler play sheet with these two because they're all snap throws real quick. I mean, the Mooney was the first thing that was above 10 yards that he's thrown in both weeks. So,
unbelievable.
But also, though, these are guys he throws to at practice all the time. Where so every quarterback does that. I mean, he's got his 2 or 3 guys he goes to, and then doesn't go to Moore, and just like Fields goes to Moore and Kmet, but doesn't necessarily. He tried to go to Mooney before he got hurt in the Minnesota game. He goes to St. Brown, but I think it goes back to scheme and play call, though, once again, is the scheme is so easy to defend that these guys aren't even able to show Justin a open flash, let alone an open.
Like I said, Bears, they needed to block Joey Bosa, and they couldn't do it last week. They could not do it. And we need Sweat for this week because we got Kamara to stop.
Yep.
He's having a good year.
He got a great game this week.
There's not many teams that can stop Chris Olave. Then they got Michael Thomas, and plus they have Jimmy Graham back. It's gonna be an even more tougher this game coming up.
I thought Graham was retired.
He came back.
Nope.
He just wanted to get out of Chicago.
He came back.
He just wanted to get out of Chicago.
He came back.
Yeah. So get me out of Chicago.
So at least you get to go see your boy. You get to go see your boy Derek Carr on Sunday.
I will be there, Woody. But actually, I'm happy. Yeah. I'll get to be there to see Sweat live and in person for his first game in Chicago.
Hey, you know what? Go arm wrestle Tyson's dad before the game.
If Jalen wants to prove he's worth that kind of money, let's see what you do against Olave.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can stop him.
Nah.
I doubt he does.
Nope.
I want to see what the running game does this week for us. Are we going to get back to the running game? And look,
was I the only one that picked? Was I the only one that picked the Chargers to win last week? I think.
I believe you were. You're back in first place.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting this week being at the game. But I think the naming Badgett the starter might also be a little bit of a smokescreen, and that we're going to see some Justin Fields in this game.
I don't know. We're going to see a whole lot of fucking Kamara with the screen passes running. That guy's having a great year. I seen him busting tackles last week.
I mean, I haven't seen the injury report this week, but if Fields shows up on the injury report as limited or full, he's playing Sunday.
But how's he going to be used? Like a Taysom Hill?
Tyson Hill. I forgot about him too. He had nice touchdowns last week.
It wouldn't be the first time a team has come out and said so and so is starting, and sure, Badgett might take the first series.
I have a question.
Fields could come in for the rest.
Why? Well, who came up with? It's probably Getsy, but I'm just humoring me. Whose idea was it to give the ball to the running back and have Badgett run for a touchdown pass? You don't want to go to the end zone for a touchdown?
Hey, well, first off,
what was that?
Well, you know what, though? Honestly, because more times than not, people are going to drop the quarterback. That was a heads-up play from Khalil Mack. Think about it. Khalil Mack, the defensive end, said, oh, wait, this guy's moving, and he covered him. More times than not, Badgett would have been wide open.
Maybe if Badgett, whatever his name is, sold it better, like slowed down and just took off.
No, I think Khalil Mack just made a very smart, hell of a play. I think most people ignore him. And it was Khalil Mack just being a great football player, stuck with the coverage and did it. I mean,
I didn't like it. I mean, it felt too naggy-ish.
But a lot of teams do it. And I mean, look, I don't mind the concept or idea that they tried.
Who would you rather have done that? Tyson Bagent or Justin Fields?
I think either way, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Okay. I say Justin just because he's fast.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's faster than Khalil.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have made a difference in the play, though. I think Mooney still wouldn't have thrown it. If Mac's within 3 steps, he's not throwing it. And Mac still, it was such a short distance that it wouldn't be like Fields would have left him 10 yards backfield. I don't mind the play call. It's okay to see some of that. And look at Mooney, tucked it, did the right thing, didn't have to throw, and he didn't lose anything. I think he gained like a yard.
It's not my. It was nothing like we didn't establish the run or nothing. Like, and now we're calling trick plays. Like,
yeah, that's a trick play though. I really didn't have a problem with. It's when they do some of these double reverses or these bubble slants, like throw it 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and they get blown up. Crap that we do all the time. Those are the things that are irking me more than a direct snap to Mooney to throw to the quarterback. I thought everyone seems to do it in the NFL. We just I think we just haven't seen it, and I think that's what the hope was. Like, well, we don't do it in Chicago, so maybe we'd throw them for a loop and we'd pick up an easy 6.
When's the last time Bears did a touch pass? Wide receiver coming out right in front of the quarterback, just like Mitch used to do back in 2018. You know what I mean? Like those, like you had a Tariq Cohen. Why can't we say like Bayless could do that? I'll be afraid he'll drop the ball.
Any of our running backs could do it. I mean, there's a lot of things that Getsy could be doing, but isn't.
Yeah. Are you done with Homer? Because I'm done with Homer. Travis Homer. He went in for one play and he fumbles the ball on a toss.
I think, I don't know if because depth-wise, we don't need him. I think the Bears are done with him, too. That's why we went out and got a guy off a practice squad.
Yeah.
That gave him more playing time than we gave Homer.
Yeah.
I think Homer, he's a guy we could cut tomorrow and no one's going to sign.
Right.
I think they keep him special teams and speed because he's made some nice tackles on special teams.
Yeah.
That's probably why he's there.
With Jalen Johnson doing his thing, wanting to go to free agency, does that mean we're going to see more from Greg Stroman or Blackwell or Jalen Jones? Like, do you start giving those guys opportunities?
I don't think you do, because if you do, now you open yourself up to a player grievance to the NFLPA, where he's going to turn around and say, well, they took me off the field because they hurt my chances as a free agent.
Right. But in a sense that he can still play him, you can still see, like Kyler Gordon, I haven't really seen much out of him.
He's been hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He had the hand injury. That's right. I forgot about that. Moving on. What'd you think of Poles saying about Coach Eberflus holding it down with all these things going on? He kind of convinced me like Eberflus is our guy, but like I know in my gut that's not our guy. I think he said it because he had to have.
I think they're looking to make some coaching changes, and because like what I said earlier about how the defense has improved, I think they're willing to let him get a new OC and give him another year. If I'm Getsy, I gotta be feeling I'm next. Look at my running back coach just got fired today for conduct on/off, whatever the hell that meant.
They'll never tell us.
So that should make Eberflus, nervous. That's his second guy where HR had to be involved in it. I mean, that was a weird thing too. Like they said, HR was involved. Like up until this year, I've never heard that human resources for an NFL franchise was involved in a coaching decision.
Maybe it's like a sexual harassment thing with a staff member like that. It's because he's been warned once before.
That's it only, but I mean, I've never even heard that crap until this year.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. He's been warned,
and now we've heard it
twice. Twice
right?
now.
It goes to Eberflus. Hey, these are the guys you're hiring. We're in the fire because they're of bad conduct. Basically, it's the second bad conduct firing of a coach this year. So you have to look at Eberflus and like, dude,
yeah, because now Omar Young is the new running back coach, who's the wide receiver coach as well.
You're right. And poor guy. And now you're looking at. I mean, because look at thankless job, right? He's got this great wide receivers. They haven't done jack. Well, now we're going to make you the running back coach. And we're not going to do jack there either. But then you look at Getsy, who's so plainly, obviously bad. And I'm just like, why haven't they fired him yet?
Yeah, and I think Flus has a lot to do with it. They probably built some sort of relationship, over this last 2 years, this past year, and afraid of change.
I mean, I'd rather have Getsy completely change shit and screw it all up than what he's doing right now. Like, dude, just like go crazy this week. Like for the rest of the season,
we've seen too many of the same plays.
Yeah, try crazy. Change the scheme. Try some crazy shit. Change the scheme. Try some new things because what you've done for the last 2 years or year and a half has not worked. Fields hasn't run the ball for his life as much this year. Because you've told him not to, and he's kind of respected that, I guess. So
robotic.
So kudos to Fields on that because there are a lot of times he could take off and he hasn't. He's bought into the process, so to speak, like Poles likes to say. So give me more play action. Give me more rolling pockets. Give me more, don't be afraid to change your scheme because your scheme's not working. That Flus is obviously supporting you, but that guy in the presidency who did not look happy on Sunday night, he doesn't care if Flus likes you. He'll reach down past the GM, past you, and say, bye-bye.
Right. I mean, like that, I'm thinking of that the play action play, that screen pass to was it Dante or Darrington? I can't remember. That Bajan did. That was creative.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I think Bajan sells the play action better than Justin does. Honestly,
I think so. I think he does a couple things.
Here's the thing: Justin's greatest strength is Bajan's worst strength.
Yeah.
Bajan's greatest strength is Justin's worst strength. As in, Reed progresses, going through his progressions. I mean, when he went through that 13-yard pass to Tyler Scott against the Raiders, that was his third or fourth progression. Like, Justin needs to be on that type of level.
I think his quick. He's a quicker release than Justin. I think Justin though sells certain plays better than Bagent. Bagent sells certain plays better than Justin. So the whole Collinsworth comment wasn't necessarily completely off base.
No, I didn't. I agree with some of it, but not too much.
Right. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're the Bears, you could be looking at Justin and say, "Hey, look at this thing that Bagent does that you don't." Like he's a quick release with faster progression read. If you can get better on that, then you're unstoppable. I think so. I mean, so Collinsworth wasn't right, but he wasn't wrong either in that regard. But I think Collinsworth just oversold it.
Right. And this puts more pressure on Justin to get the job done, go through his progressions, get the ball out quick. I think this is because you're like, dude, you're going to injure more than just your hand next time.
Well, I think that this injury makes Justin say, you know, I told you I'd stick around the pocket, but fuck you, I'm leaving. I think we'll see more Justin. If he doesn't like it, he's going to be gone faster.
And I don't think Getsy likes that stuff.
No, he doesn't. But I mean, he wants him to be standing in the pocket and be Aaron Rodgers and make all these great throws, which is great if your defense, if your wide receivers were even a half step open, but they're not.
Yeah. And what 2 quarterbacks this season got hurt in the pocket? Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers
tore his Achilles.
All in the pocket. Move the pocket. Justin is better on the run, throwing the ball.
This argument kind of reminds me of the Mitch Trubisky days, right? Because I was saying the same thing about Trubisky. Once you got
Trubisky, I thought Trubisky was great.
What was great about Trubisky, once you got him out of the pocket, the dude was legit. I mean, the thing I loved about Trubisky, people are like, oh, Trubisky sucks. I'm like, watch his 2-minute drills. Every single time he puts you in a position to win.
Yeah. I distinctly remember the Denver game.
Yeah.
That bomb, it was like a 30, 40-yard bomb with like 2 seconds, call timeout, kick the field. Eddie Pinheiro kicks the field goal. We win.
Even the double doink does not happen if Trubisky does not get them in position.
And the double doink.
But that attempt does not happen without Trubisky putting them in position to win.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next year, they make him a statue, and they don't let him run, and he gets hurt. Then he gets gun shy.
And the thing is, I was like, a lot of people are like, oh, Justin's way better than Trubisky. I'm like, not according to the numbers. Let me ask a question. Which receiver has Justin Fields thrown to has over 1,000 yards in the season? Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. Trubisky at least had Allen Robinson, and I think that's it. Just Allen Robinson. That's still one though.
Yeah.
I thought Darnell Mooney, but I think that was the Nick Foles.
He was gone. But when Mooney got here, I think he was gone already. Mitch was gone already when Mooney got here.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Mitch in 18, they let him move out of the pocket. They let him run. They let him do all kinds of things. And then in 19 and 20, they didn't let him do any of that. Well, last year, they let Fields run. They let him move the pocket. This year, they weren't letting him do any of that. I get they don't want to RG3 him. Right?
RG3 got her in the pocket.
Yeah, 2 years, tear ACL of the league. They don't want that. I get it. But you're also creating a situation where you're getting basically the same net effect by taking all the strengths away, the reasons why you drafted them to begin with. So if we go back to this whole coaching, and we got some time left before, we've already gone over an hour, so that's good. We've got some time. I guess we can spend some more time on it. Harbaugh. Okay, so Harbaugh coming to the Bears. Let me get your take on this. First off, do you think Michigan? Do you think he leaves Michigan this year?
I think so. I think he leaves Michigan. I think you said lead or leave. Leave. I think he leaves Michigan. I think Roger Goodell already said the NFL is not going to be a safe haven for Jim Harbaugh. I think you get him now.
So I don't know what that means, though. I don't know what that Goodell thing. So if the NCAA says we're going to give Michigan the death penalty for recruiting violations, what's that got? What's the NFL going to do if he signs with a team?
Exactly. Right? That's why I'd say sign him now. I don't
get
understand.
That though.
I heard that.
Yeah, I don't get that. They're mutually independent of each other. Why would something he'd do in the NCAA follow him to the NFL?
Who knows?
But
I mean, that's just something I heard.
And then, let's say he does come to Chicago. Well, first off, I don't think he comes to Chicago for one big reason and one big reason.
Ownership.
The one big reason is we're not going to get rid of Poles. We're not going to give him the GM. He wants GM and head coach. That was the deal last year, right? I want GM and head coach. Well, dude, Poles is hit on draft picks. He's got a very high batting percentage right now in draft picks. Why would I get rid of him and hire Harbaugh to be the GM and head coach?
What if we gave him the assistant GM position? Working with Poles. I mean, get rid of what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name.
But isn't that kind of a de facto thing with
still part of that decision making?
Is there? Yeah, but I mean, I find me a head coach in a league who already doesn't have that.
Yeah.
on some level.
I mean, the first thing is you got to pay him the money, and is he willing to coach Justin Fields? If Poles thinks Justin's the guy,
Well, I think Harbaugh makes Fields better.
well, of course, I can tell you now. If Harbaugh comes here, Getsy's gone.
Yeah. I think Harbaugh instantly makes Fields better, makes the offense better. Former NFL quarterback, happened to be a Bear quarterback, offensive minded. His offenses at Michigan have always been good. He saw Fields play in college, so he knows Fields. He scouted against him. He's seen him play. So yes, I think he makes Fields better, and I think his OC, whoever it is,
Greg Stroman,
would be more in tune. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd take whoever his current OC is at Michigan with him.
And here's another thing. What else does it set you up for? The draft. He knows. He's scouted.
I don't worry about that because Poles, like, okay, find me a draft pick that Poles has really whiffed on.
Well, Velus is the only one so far.
Yeah, but what round was Velus? 6?
No, he was a 3rd round.
Was Velus Jones a 3rd?
I'm pretty sure he was a 3rd round. Oh, I'm looking it up now.
And even though he's hit on so many others, if Velus is the only one we can really say, yeah, that was a big whiff, he's hit on so many others, I'm not worried. I think he's one of the best drafting GMs in football right now.
Yeah.
Was he a 3rd?
Hold on. My phone's acting. He was a 3rd, the 71st pick in the 3rd round.
So late 3rd.
Late 3rd.
Yeah.
He whiffed on him.
I mean, if you look at all his other 1 through 3rd round, the first 2 3rd round picks, though, he's the only whiff out of 5.
Yeah, because Brisker's been known to have concussion problems, but there's no argument that he's one of the best players on that team.
Yeah, Brisker's been good. Gordon's been good.
All right.
Right.
Stevenson he's a rookie, so he's going to get his faults.
Jones, until he got hurt this year, has been great.
Jones.
So that's what I'm
Tyler
saying.
Scott. Tyler Scott reminds me a lot of Darnell Mooney.
I mean, Harbaugh helps for the draft, but that's not my major. That's not my
major. He's going to want his guys. The guys he's going to want the guys he coached.
Yeah, he's going to want Michigan guys. Oh yeah, and that's okay too. But
Poles makes that decision though, and is Jim going to go for that?
I think Jim has to. See, that's the thing. That's why I don't think he'd be in Chicago. I mean,
and the only person that's going to be able to convince Jim Harbaugh to come to Chicago is Kevin Warren.
Yeah.
Big Ten commissioner. He knows Jim. That's going to be the guy you convinced to come here just to coach.
And I think that's the only way Flus loses the job in Chicago.
I think he's done.
If Harbaugh's available and he calls up Warren and says, hey, man, tell your GM I'm leaving and I'm looking for a home, I think Flus is gone at that point. But minus that happening, I don't see Flus leaving.
I think he's gone. I think he's already just riding it out. I don't think besides making the playoffs, he's done. Because the first game of the season, we had this entire time to prep for the Packers, and we lost. We got our asses in. Well, we didn't get our asses, but it was a terrible defense.
Look at that first 4th and 1 at your 29.
Yeah, so our defense didn't show up till we started playing the Broncos.
Yeah.
So, and I think his job was when we were playing the Commanders, I think his job was on the line.
I think so, too.
I think it was on the line. I think Paul said that you're going to get fired. You're going to be the first coach in Chicago Bears history to be fired in the middle of the season. And you know what? I still think they should. I would fire Getsy. I would fire Flus. And let Hightower just do his thing.
Hold on. Wait. Who? If you fire Flus and Getsy right now because you have no DC,
right?
Who are you promoting the head coach?
Hightower. Special teams have been the best. They're consistent, at least. I'm promoting Hightower. I'm promoting who's the offensive line coach. I mean, you're losing anyways. You're losing with them. What's the difference?
I guess.
I mean, you keep the same playbook and you throw shit out there until it sticks. We're losing anyways.
Hey, why not fire? If the Bears lose this weekend, the offense is anemic. Fire Getsy, and hire
Josh McDaniels. Don't you dare say that. No,
hire
no.
McDaniels as your new OC.
No.
Hey, he wasn't a bad OC in New England.
Yeah, he had Bill looking at him, giving that stare.
But I was like, why not? You know, like
Bill doesn't have to say anything; he just stares at you.
I mean, Getsy, I understand the hire, I understand the allure, I understand he's got a great resume, but it just isn't working in Chicago, dude.
See, this is the problem. We hired a first-time head coach, a first-time OC, a first-time DC, everybody, a first-time GM. Like that doesn't work. None of that works.
I think the GM has worked out for me. I like Poles as a GM.
He's the only one that's worked out.
He's the only one that's worked out. I think Flus still has potential to work out, but he needs an OC. He needs a good OC. I think he did the right thing by bringing in a defensive advisor at minimum. I think that was a smart play though, versus not doing anything and just doing it all himself. Because he's got. That's what I'm saying. Flus has like a sliver of hope.
He has to make the playoffs. He's got to come up with some wins. If he would end up 9-8 or 8-9, even 7-10, I think he might keep his job.
I think if we can win, okay, we got what, 8 games left?
Yeah.
I think if he goes,
no, we got 9 games left.
9 games. If he can win 4 to 5 of those games, he keeps his job easy.
5 more games, he's 7-10.
Yeah,
big improvement.
At 6-11 or 7-10,
our defense takes a huge leap.
Right. I think that he's safe. I think he's safe because if you can at least double last year's win total at 6, I think you're safe. If you come in at 4 or 5 or less, you're fired. Out the door. See you later. And then the other, but then if you win 7 games and Harbaugh says, "Hey, I'm back," then you're gone.
Okay. So, if Harbaugh comes and even though Flus wins 7 or 8 games, you're gone. I'm gonna take the offensive guy because if that's the case, okay. So that means if we go 7-10 and Flus looks good, that means Getsy looks good. He stays.
Not necessarily.
Or he's going to get a head coaching job.
Not necessarily.
If Justin looks good.
It could mean that we look good because the defense creates turnovers, does short fields, and it's not because we could win like 2006 and have it be not because of the offense.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Well, it's just like 2018. It wasn't because of the offense. That was our defense.
But the offense, though, did enough
at times.
Yeah, the offense had its days. They weren't a bad offense overall.
Yeah, I remember like beating Cowboys on Thanksgiving, just demolishing them. The Buccaneers where Mitch threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
like that was ridiculously good.
So I mean,
there were spurts.
And look, we all know that this offense, we have tools to be phenomenal. You know, you got Fields, you got Moore, we got running backs, I think the wide receiving room does need one more body now.
We need a big guy like Claypool was. I think that's where. How big is Marvis?
I don't know, but I think if you get Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm not sure. I can't remember how big he is, but I mean, if you put him and Moore on the same line, it's like good. It's like having Tyreek and Waddle in some way.
Right.
So I mean, that's a great combo. If we can make that happen, I think the offensive line is good enough to protect long enough for Fields to deliver a good ball to him. I could see an offense not unlike Miami. It's not going to be a speed offense, but it's going to have a 1-2 punch at the wide receiving core with, I would dare say, a better running back room than Miami has, and a good enough offensive line to service it. Where the quarterback, Tua and Fields are not much different in my book. Fields might be a little more mobile than Tua, actually. I think they both got great arms. They both have skills.
I don't try. I think Tua either overthrows or underthrows, which is perfect for Tyreek because he's so fast to get to it.
Yeah.
So he covers up a lot of Tua's.
I think Justin's more accurate than Tua. At throwing the ball. So I could see a really good Bears offense with that might even make Luke Getsky look good if he's still here. But we got to get to that point, and I think we're a wide receiver short right now, and I think that the current scheme is too easy to defend.
Yeah. No, what do we do is we still have Khalil Herbert for another year or two?
2, maybe?
2?
I think Roschon Johnson pushes him out eventually.
But what if Deontay Foreman still has a good season? Do we sign him back? Does Khalil move all the way from 1 to 3?
So Foreman's on a 1-year deal. Herbert, I want to say, isn't he on a rookie deal still?
Yeah, he's still on his rookie deal.
So we got one. So this is year 3. So we got one more year.
1 more year.
1 more year of Herbert. We got 3 more years of Roschon Johnson on his rookie. You can re-sign Deontay Foreman for the same money you probably spent this year and be okay for next year.
But does that put Khalil Herbert all the way at the 3 in running backs? Or is
I think he comes back as the 1 right now.
No. I'm saying next season. I think he does come back as the 1, but I'm saying next season.
Yeah, he could.
He come back?
He could.
Does he come back as the 1, or does he come as a 2 or a 3?
I think.
Beyonce's putting up yards and Khalil's not.
I think it's a fight between the 3 of them, which is great that we have that kind of talent.
Yeah.
I think he has to fight for it. In the end of the day, I think Roschon Johnson will end up being. Rashawn will beat all of them at the end of the day. Eventually,
he needs to hit the pocket, not just dance around back in the line. No, that's why he got creamed trying to do too much. Just hit the hole hard, even if it's not a hole. Get behind a lineman and push your way through.
And because our line has been pretty good on the run too. That's the thing. The line's not. It's so easy for Bears fans to say the line. The line hasn't been bad.
No, not terrible. No. There's times, but every O-line has bad times.
So let me do some housekeeping here. We've been going at it for 93 minutes. Thank you Hey, Mike, thank you for joining me tonight, because otherwise it would have been just me on the screen answering your questions in the chat.
Hey, any Wednesday, Thursday night, I'll be here. Sundays, I'll be here.
Don't forget, also, everyone, let me the graphics I do have, not many tonight. Hey, we're almost at 10,000. I think we are like 300 away. So follow at Mike the Bear Fan. We'll be doing a good giveaway when we hit the 10K. I hate to show this. This was before Sunday. Now Woody is 3-5, and the rest of us are 2-6. I hate to do that, but it is what it is. We'll be back here, of course, Sunday at 11:30. Well, right now, I think that's the plan. That may be subject to change because I won't be here. Mike won't be here. Woody, I'm not sure. Dan, I think, might already have a commitment. So
I guess I'll log in and see.
We might not have an 11:30 or a stream because of everyone being at games this Sunday. Just one of those rarities. And we'll definitely be back next Wednesday. Hopefully, Mike doesn't have another breakdown.
I'll be here.
Woody won't have to have a different work day, and I think Dan had something to happen.
Woody just
on the chat. Yeah. Once again, thank you, Bear Down Mike, who's always in our comments, for hanging out with me tonight. For the 4 or 5 people that have been watching throughout, thank you. For those watching on the replay, thanks for giving us a watch. Make sure you go to Mike the Bear Fan. At Facebook, give us a follow or like. If you're on YouTube, give us the follow and the like. All these things kind of help. And Mike, I guess I'll let you get the last word before I close this out tonight. Or do you freeze? I think we froze Mike. Okay. Well, hey, that being said, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all soon.